everybody. Welcome to a fall 2014 SWAT review. My name is Kate.
And I'm Alan.
We are from ReverseThieves.com. You can go there to get other SWAT reviews, many other podcasts, as well as 3+ blog posts every week. This time, we're looking at the first episode of Lord Marksman and Vanadis from Satelight and streaming on Hulu and Funimation. This is one of the many fantasy offerings of the season. So many fantasy shows, and it's based on a light novel.
I feel like when I saw it on the anime chart, I was like, ooh, that looks like an interesting fantasy series. Let me look into it a little bit. Because I don't really see a lot of people talking about this. And then you go to the Wikipedia and you see the light novel cover.
The true picture.
And you're like, you lied to me, picture on the anime chart. You lied to me big time.
They lied to us good because we watched it. I mean, it's wartime between a bunch of kingdoms, and there's like all these alliances, and we're kind of thrown into the end of a big battle. And our main character, the names in this series, so Tiger Vu Mud.
Born Tigray. He asked the girl to call him Tigray.
Okay, so he sees the commander. He's separated from all of his troops and he's by himself and everybody's dead around him. So he sees her in the distance and is like, well, then I'm going to take my shot at killing her and ending this thing. Or like, well, at least
his army is fleeing and the other army is slaughtering them as they very disorganizedly leave the battlefield. So he's like, if I can kill their commander, they're probably going to rush back here to see what goes on. And then I can get out of here and hopefully the rest of my army can flee without taking any more major losses.
And he's a lord and such. Anyway, so he takes a shot at her. He's an archer. +1 in the favor of the series. He takes out a couple of horses really badly and almost kills her, like, right-hand woman. But, of course, she
uses her warrior maiden powers to block his arrows and capture him.
And so then it becomes like, oh, okay, so he's captured. They'll ransom him to his like home kingdom and whatnot. And then after that point, the story stops making sense as far as I'm concerned, because he's not treated like a prisoner in any way, shape, or form, and the commander recognized his ability as an archer when he tried to kill her, so then she, wants him to show off in the yard, and then an assassin comes and tries to kill her, and for some reason, he stops that from happening, which made absolutely no sense to me at all, and he doesn't seem anxious at all to leave. He just seems really well,
okay.
I think that I shouldn't be here. And when she asks him point blank to switch sides, he says some crap about being super loyal to his country, etc., lip service, and then proceeds to do nothing.
Look, well, he does try to escape at the very end of the episode when he gets back his retainer. But, I mean, he is in the country of busty warrior women and cute maids, Kate.
Well, his country also has a cute maid that's waiting for him to come home, or she's all, upset about it. I mean, it's just one of those things where my suspension of disbelief, how everybody has, their limit. And so, they're going into, how important this battle was that they were at and giving us some backstory about it. And then, it's this was, a really important battle. And then these women come in their midriff spandex outfits, and I'm like, maybe you should have worn your good armor to this one. I don't know. Do you have armor or no? Okay.
And I think you can tell what kind of show this is when Eleonora, the main girl, every time she moves when she's not in armor, it's just bouncy bounce.
She's never in armor. She doesn't even enter the battlefield in armor.
Okay, when she is in her casual clothing as opposed to her battle lady outfit,
yeah,
she is totally bounce.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the only other thing... So I said +1 to being an archer, which was good. And also, at least he's not completely useless. I mean, as I said, I feel like he doesn't have enough passion one way or the other to me, and I think that that's boring. And that he doesn't I don't know, he just doesn't have enough going on with him, but at least he's not like a horrible human being or like a lecherous pervert or
like totally useless, but for some reason the girl sees his potential.
Exactly.
Like, she clearly has already been given good examples of why she would want to recruit him.
Yeah, so that's another thing in its favor. Another thing that at least stood out to me in the first episode that could make it different than others is that even though it definitely comes off as a harem series, there do seem to be other prominent men in the cast. There's like his retainer, there's this guy who kind of becomes indebted to him in the kingdom who sort of like becomes another retainer of his. There seem to be some knights on Eleanor's side that weren't drawn generically, so I assume that they will be like actual characters. It's like, oh, they have real character designs like with different colored hair, so those people are probably important. So that's at least it's not all big boobied women and or cute little girls, so.
There's nothing horrible about it. I mean, I think Kate disliked the show more than I did, but the major problem is Eleonora really is written like, here's your waifu girlfriend character who like is super in love with the main character because she obviously has a crush on him and that's why she keeps trying to recruit him and act so nice to him. And she is obviously girlfriendo material.
And then the only question is like, I don't know. Don't forget the part where, of course, he, like, wanders into her bathing, and then she's like, oh, why don't you bathe also? And he's like, oh, is that how it works in this country? And she's like, no, but some crap about how she has to be, like, she can't be flustered by anything. Some garbage. I don't remember. And I'm betting that dragon turns into a girl. I am betting it. I'm betting money on it.
Yeah, because she has a pet dragon, so obviously.
Like a super cute little pet dragon.
And she will probably turn into a cute little girl who will also be in love with the main character. If you like this kind of show, I think it might. The only other interesting selling point is that obviously the country that our Lord Marksman comes from is corrupt. The two forces that he has alliances with, they have shown some ignoble reasons for going to this war. And I think that Eleonora's side also has some bad things going on. So it'll be one of those things where basically they, realize that both of their countries are corrupt and they have to find the correct path, which could be vaguely interesting. But you're really going to have to put up with some harem bullshit to get to that point. And so...
Exactly. I guess, there's a couple of interesting setups, but I don't think anybody has a real personality at all. Like, everybody is pretty much, like, falls into a type. And also, just something I hate. All the girls have those dead eyes. So I hate that so much. Like, those, like, soulless eyes. Which is perfectly acceptable for this thing, I'm sure. But it just feels like, okay, this is a type, this is, this and that. And it kind of ruins, I think, any mildly interesting things that they're doing with the fantasy world.
There seems to be better, but it never decides to reach beyond what it is.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, from the first episode.
All right. See you guys next time.